Economics is going to be more important and more exciting in the next 5 or 10 years than it's been since the 1970s, because the scale of the problems that it's got to deal with are suddenly really daunting. In order to deal with those daunting problems, lots of new ideas are going to be required from economists. The ideas developed by economists over the last 20 years, even over the last 200 years, are no longer adequate to deal with the challenges that economics will face. And therefore, it's going to be a very exciting discipline, both because of what it needs to do and because of the way it needs to do them.
I think the crisis has brought out that we really don't understand how our economy works. The fact that a large part of the world still remains in deep poverty, while other parts of the world are growing very rapidly, again illustrates that we don't really understand what makes the difference. Because if we did, we could transform those low-growing economies into fast-growing economies. There's nothing we can say at this point that can make that transition. There's a real opportunity for research that will make a difference for the lives of people all over the world. I think at this point we have made a lot of progress in getting the tools, but it's bringing together the mathematical tools and asking the right questions, framing the questions in the right way, really means that there's this opportunity, I think a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, really to rethink all of our premises. And this is for anybody young entering the economics profession, this is a really very exciting time.
I think if I was talking to young economists today, I would say the future of this subject lies in looking at what people actually do, rather than imposing models of how we think they ought to behave on their behavior. We tell people that the way you should think about risks is you write down a list of all the possible outcomes, you attach values to these outcomes, you assess probabilities, and you make your decision on that basis. Now, I don't think like that. And I've been teaching this stuff for years. I don't know anyone who actually thinks and behaves like that. Now, what we actually need to do is understand why people behave towards risks the way they do, rather than work on this abstract model of how we think they ought to behave. And that's what went wrong over the last 5 years. People behaved the way they do in risky situations, rather than the way the models that people were using to predict their behavior said they would.
Economics is about understanding resource allocation in the world. It's about understanding how the world will grow economically, how people will be able to realize their dreams in terms of having the means to do so. And by understanding economic tools, one can create sustainable, and that's key, sustainable growth paths for individuals, for societies, and for the planet. So I think understanding choice, understanding how to influence choice, the incentive structures, the regulatory structures around choice is at the heart of economics. If you want to develop tools that help you understand the world and help you shape the world, I can think of no better potential toolkit. The problem is, and that's why INET's exciting, the toolkit is missing some vital tools, because these tools have to be renewed and invigorated as time goes by.
If I was talking to a young rising star in economics, I would give them one piece of advice, and one only. You only have so many minutes on Earth. Choose important problems, because you have to give your life meaning. And if you let the siren songs of the profession dictate for you what your agenda is, you'll end up feeling meaningless and hollow, and you won't be happy with the life you lived.